A while ago, I was walking through the woods, and it was a very thick wood. The foliage was incredible. You kind of had to push everything out of your way just to get through it and step over things. And it went on like this for hours and hours. It was hard hiking, a hard trek. And I looked around at one point. I was by myself, and everything looked the same. No matter which direction you looked, it kind of had a monotony to it. And I just kept going and going through this forest. And then I started to think about my life, my businesses, everything I've done with school and sports, writing. And I thought about the successful people I know in life and their pathways to what they consider success. And I realized going through this forest was a lot like our daily lives. If you follow people on Instagram, it looks like they're doing something different every single day. They're in these exotic places, successful people. They're constantly doing new things, meeting new people, and that's all true. But often you're seeing them at kind of the peak of their career when they have a lot more freedom. But when you're just getting started, and probably for the first 10 to 15 years in most businesses and most careers and anything you do, well, it's a lot like going through that forest. And what do I mean by that? Imagine you could zoom in on a great salesperson and their daily phone calls, the same calls over and over and over again for 18 hours a day. The writer who wakes up every day and is writing for 8 to 10 hours and not making much progress, just seeing the same things all around him. The athlete going through the same fundamentals every single day, just like walking through that forest and seeing the same thing over and over and over again, and yet you keep moving forward. And here's the thing, and this is why most people aren't successful, is that you start to go into this and it's the same thing every day and it's boring. But more than that, you're not sure if you're going to make it out. You're not sure if you're going to get to where you're going. And people start to worry, well, I'm putting in all this work. Is it even worth it? And that turns so many people back around right out of the forest from the direction they came. They quit doing the daily things because you don't see progress. So as you go forward, you're operating on faith, pure and simple faith. Faith in yourself, faith in the power of hard work, and that's what gets you through. And you start to enjoy the process. You don't feel like it when you wake up every morning, and pretty soon everyone gets tired of chopping through the same kind of look-alike forest. But as you get going, as you get into the work, there's something powerful and beautiful in just enjoying that process of swinging the machete, so to speak, and just cutting through, unsure if you're ever going to get out. But guess what? If you stick with it, if you really stick with it, most of the time, long after you think the time has passed and you're not going to make it, they say it's the day after the second coming. It's the day after Jesus was supposed to arrive. If you can wait for that, Franz Kafka said that. If you can wait that extra day after you're supposed to be rescued, great things can happen. And as I was going through the forest, I pulled back this tree and this bush, and I pushed through, and I had to kind of rip myself through these vines. And suddenly I was in this opening, and there's just this beautiful waterfall, birds everywhere, just pure beauty, and no monotony, totally unique. Surrounded by a bunch more forest that was completely monotonous, but here was this little oasis. And I thought, as I was sitting there, this is what success is like. You go through this monotony and suddenly you get the big sales deal. You go through this monotony as a writer and suddenly you have a breakthrough and make a huge jump in your style and understanding of what makes a good book or a good article or a good poem or a good song or a good painting if you're an artist. If you're an athlete, you're putting in these hours and hours and hours, and then suddenly you win a gold medal. So as you're going through it, I want this to I want you to know if things aren't going the way you have them planned, and it seems like you're just doing the same thing over and over. If your fundamentals are right, if you're doing the right fundamentals in business, in your career, if you're doing what experts before you have done to get better at their craft, and you're not seeing the progress you want to see yet, but you're doing the right things, keep doing it. Keep walking through the forest, keep swinging the machete, clearing everything out of your way. Even though it looks, every day looks the same and it feels like you're just kind of like on an eternal repeat, keep swinging, and then one time you're going to swing the machete and unexpected success is going to fall, quote unquote, fall into your lap. And people around you will think you were an overnight success, that you got lucky. They didn't see you going through that forest.